Okay.
Hello and welcome to our Saturdays with Tara Hangout on Air. I'm Mary Beth at the Law of Attraction Club, and we're on the web at the loaclub.com. On these hangouts, we collaborate with our friends Tara. This hangout is the summary of our theme for the week and continues on our member conference line with live Q&A. Today's topic is a chapter from our upcoming book, Life on Earth, a User Guide. Table of Contents and Chapter 3, How You Create Your World is what is being presented today. You can get invites to our open calls, which we offer periodically, and our powerful free letting go process by going to the loaclub.com. So now we're going to welcome Robin and Tara.
From Bashar through Daryl Enker. That reality you desire, it already exists among the infinite probable realities, all simultaneously coexisting. So you don't have to create one. You simply have to make yourself an effective antenna, so that by similarity of vibrations, you can receive that reality. Then it will become psychologically real for you. Physical reality is only a mirror that reflects what you most strongly believe to be true. So welcome to our discussion. Here's the planned table of contents for our new book, which is called Life on Earth, a User Guide, Beyond Law of Attraction 101, to a definitive explanation of how you create your reality. And of course, once you know that, then you can create whatever you want as a new reality. Introduction. The stories behind this book. Preface. What is channeling? Chapter 1. Quick start guide. All you really have to know about creating what you want. Chapter 2. The first absolute. Who are you and what are you doing here? Chapter 3. The second absolute. The law of attraction. How you create your reality. Chapter 4. Discovering the true purpose of your life. Chapter 5. The importance of feeling good. Chapter 6. The 4 elements of consciously creating what you want. Chapter 7. Tools for your toolbox. Chapter 8. Particular items. Money, health, relationships. Chapter 9. Questions and answers. Chapter 10. Conclusion. There is nothing you cannot be, do, or have. Today, let's look at Chapter 3, the second absolute, the law of attraction, how you create your reality. How on earth did I create that? Many of your questions take this form. And then your next question is often, how do I change it? That second question is, of course, where the rubber meets the road. But the first question comes from a deep desire that many of you have to understand, to know the backstory about how it all works. That backstory is these absolutes. When this one was just beginning to learn about the law of attraction, he heard us describe beliefs as simply habits of thought. Oh no, he thought, that's not right. There are some things I just know to be true. We understand how you can feel that way because many of your choices do not seem like choices. They just seem like discoveries. discoveries of the way things actually are. Of course, those discoveries are really belief choices. And once you make them, a matching version of the world wraps itself around you. And that in turn supports your belief and reinforces it. These discoveries become your story. And let us assure you up front here that we are not in any way wanting to challenge your story. We are intersecting with you here in response to your desire to create more joy in your life. But as we respond to your questions, we have learned that for many of you, it's much easier for you to put all the puzzle pieces together if you understand what lies beneath it all. And so as we talk about these absolutes, the foundation on which everything is built, some of you may feel that we are indeed challenging your beliefs, even your so-called core beliefs. Well, we encourage you to be easy about all of this. As we progress, you will hopefully see that we are going to reaffirm that the world you create, the story you have chosen, is real. At least it's as real as the physical you is real. By law of attraction, it has to be. It's just that it is your story. And if there are any pieces of it that are not joyful, we want you to begin to see that you can change those pieces. Later, we'll be getting more into the importance of how you feel about things. For now, we'll just say, nothing is more important than feeling good. Let your feelings be your guide. Take what feels good, leave the rest. This book is about how you can change your world. And as we set out in the previous chapter, before we can get into the things you can change, and that's just about everything, we need first to understand what you cannot change. You cannot change the inherent nature of who you are, a timeless consciousness. That's absolute number one. And you cannot change the fundamental organizing principle of everything that exists. Though you may hear people talk of 5 or 7 or 107 cosmic laws, there is only one, and it's absolute number 2. It's what has come to be called the law of attraction, and we describe it like this. You attract into your experience, moment by moment, wanted or unwanted, unique to you, the sum of your conscious and subconscious expectations. It's moment by moment. When you woke up this morning, the bed, the floor, the walls, time and gravity were all there because, and only because, you knew they would be. It contains wanted things and unwanted things, because that's what you've chosen to believe is out there. It's unique to you because this particular version of reality you've stepped into is a match to the now current version of your expectations. If there are other conscious entities in your world, the versions of them that you intersect with are likewise going to be a match to you. By your belief choices, you define the boundaries of the stage within which your story is playing out. That definition of you and your world is a huge data store. We have called it by many names. We have called it your vibrational set point, your vibrational soup, your vibrational train, your tapestry of expectations, your world blueprint, your movie screenplay, your library of everything. It's that vast record of all those things you've ever chosen to believe. Who is the you that made those choices? It is the consciousness that is hearing this. It is not the physical you. It is the thinking you. Is there any other consciousness or any other sort of entity or spiritual being that is making choices for you? No. It is you and you alone that defines everything. There is no guardian angel with its hands on the controls, although of course you can create one by choosing to believe in it and imagining it into beingness. If you do, then that guardian angel is as real as you are. There is no inherently right or wrong way to do any of this. There are just your belief choices and your way of doing it. What does this tapestry of expectations define? It defines you and the matching context that timelessly wraps itself around you. It defines all of your physical reality, your world and everything in it, including the physical you. It defines all of your non-physical reality, your vibrational world and everything about it. There is nothing or anything anywhere within your awareness that is not defined by that data store. We want you to really get this. And we challenge you right now to think of something that has not been designed by you. It does not exist. It goes like this. You make a choice and you have an experience. From that experience comes a new desire and a new choice. And the cycle repeats. This has been your process. You could say it started before you were born, but even that is a choice. And therefore it's also a part of your story. Even being born is a part of your story. You could say it's been a lifetime of iterations, minute by minute, month by month, decade by decade. Think of it any way that appeals to you now. The only thing that is absolute in any of this is that all of this comes from your choices. So what's in your tapestry of belief choices and expectations? Well, firstly, look around you. What you see is what you've created. You didn't consciously plan all that detail, but you did decide what is and what isn't. And you also decided the boundaries around everything. What you know about trees, what you chose to believe about them, decided what trees will be like in your world. What you know about humans decided what humans will be like in your world. There's nothing that exists in your world that you haven't imagined into being. You decided the certainties, the probabilities, the possibilities, and impossibilities about everything. Secondly, what about things you can't see, things that are not right now in the range of your senses? Well, pick a subject. Then ask yourself what you believe about it. What do you truly expect about it? Start looking at the detail of that part of your tapestry. You will know by how you feel whether this component of your creation is to your liking or not to your liking. If it feels good, allow yourself to revel in that. Go on a little mini rampage of appreciation. If it feels negative in any way, pick apart that tapestry a little in your mind and find the thread that needs replacing. It's based on a lie. You can choose the lie you want or the life you want. You can't have both. In this book, we're making the case for choosing life and suggesting some new rules you can follow. All of you have assumptions that consciously or unconsciously underlie all of your thinking. those mostly unspoken beliefs that are the foundation on which you have built your particular story. So what for you is true about you and your world? What are the undeniable facts? What is as plain as the nose on your face? What are the obvious common sense facts that no reasonable person would ever question? Well, the answers to these, of course, will be personal to you. There are those of you who choose to take the world at face value, as a physical-only place where all questions must have a physical-only answer. The big assumption here is that if anything non-physical existed, you would be able, by physical experiment, to verify and measure it. The scientific method is the absolute bedrock on which all your reasoning is based, even though the new science of the day is questioning the very idea of physicalness, wondering what time really is, and still trying to explain this pesky thing called consciousness, which affects physical things. If that is you, then your undeniably common sense, self-evident answers to those questions above are that you live on planet Earth in one galaxy of many, formed perhaps from a Big Bang. Sustainable life is the result of a physical accident finding this particular planet where conditions by chance allowed it to evolve into higher forms. You are one of those, a human being born of certain parents on a certain day and time in a certain place in a certain country. You grew up, and you will grow old and physically degenerate until you die, when you and your consciousness will cease to exist. That is your story. Then there are those of you who believe in duality. You accept the reality of your physicality, and your answers are similar to those above, with the exception that you believe there is some part of you that is non-physical and therefore survives your death. You may believe there's an all-powerful God who had a hand in the creation of life and the physical world, who has a particular purpose for your life, and whose judgment of your worthiness affects your afterlife. Your story is a hybrid of a physical reality fitting within the context of these spiritual aspects. Some of you in duality mode also believe somewhat in the law of attraction, that you can influence your future by how you focus your thoughts. Well, the law of attraction is absolute, in that it says you can have, be, or do anything, and there is nothing you cannot change. If you can have your world be any way you want it to be, and you can, and that other person can have it be what they want, and they can also, then you cannot be sharing the same world. So if you see yourself in one world shared by everybody, you have an immediate problem, which usually gets resolved by watering down the law of attraction until it means not much of anything. Here's the absolute truth about all of you. You're a non-physical consciousness. You're an always connected part of the collective consciousness of all that is. Your intentions and belief choices define you. As you make new choices, a new story, you morph into a new version of you. And a new matching version of everything and everyone instantly wraps itself around you. That's what you describe as the law of attraction at work. You are attracting, moment by moment, a version of a physical you, a physical world, and a non-physical world, all of which are a match to your story. The experience is real, but the story is a work of fiction. Everything is an inside job. And then there are those of you who are starting to get it. You start to relinquish your traditional beliefs about the nature of physicalness. And you get that it's possible to step into a new future you. But for many, it's hard to shake some of the remnants of that former belief system. For example, the solidarity of your past. You still see yourself essentially as that same human born of certain parents on a certain day and time, in a certain place, in a certain country. And that's okay. There are no right or wrong stories. There is just your story. You can play this game in any way that you want to. In different versions of you, all equally valid and real, you are making an infinity of different choices. But for this version of you, since you are asking us how to create more of what you want, we say, it helps if you will allow your creation tapestry to continue its evolution by letting go of unwanted remnants. If you are creating the illusion that is your world by your thoughts, can you see that your past is as variable as your future? Memory is just another word for imagination. We know that this may be a big leap for you. Just start to get used to the idea of it. Let it be within you for a while and it will become part of you. How does this help? Because you've been locked into the concept that your past determines your present and to a large extent your future. You know still that what you did 10 years ago and 10 months ago and 10 days ago and 10 minutes ago has led you inexorably to your here and now. Well, if you understand the absolute truth about you we described above, you have to see that this is arrant nonsense. It's as plain as the nose on your face that you are hanging on to lies about who you are. It's time to rethink. You can choose the lie you want or you can choose the life you want. You can't do both. We encourage you to choose the life you want and all of its delicious possibilities. Loosen the death grip with which you are hanging on to your now world. Spend more time in the stands watching, even as you play the game on the field. Daydream more about what you want to be and do and have. And as you do that, you'll identify more and more with that new equally valid version of your world. And let go of that past of yours. Start to get inside you that it does not exist and never did. We say, it's time to acknowledge the truth of who you are and make it your new reality. As you begin to choose the life you want, you'll begin to see that there are some things that feel easier to create than others. The process is always the same. It's as simple to create a galaxy as a hot meal, but it may not be as easy. Here we'll be exploring these two different sorts of creation to see what's similar and what's different about them. We understand that these ideas may be a challenge to the way you normally look at things. That is our intention. We want you to start seeing things in a whole new light, as they really are, instead of the way they appear to be in your space-time world. If you can begin to get your mind around this, you'll never again look at things in quite the same way. The nature of things, you, all that is, the law of attraction, all of this is logical and elegantly simple. However, choosing what you want and creating it can be difficult or easy. It is what you make it to be, because you are not only creating your world, you're also creating how you create. As soon as you stepped away from the totality of all that is, as soon as you began to experience things as an individuated consciousness, you entered the realm where everything is your creation. The only absolute principle at work here is that energy flows inherently in such a way that even as you create you, a matching context appears around you. It is the stage on which your story plays out in infinite versions without limit. When you choose to go right at the fork, an equally valid version of you goes left. Both versions exist, although by the current nature of your consciousness, within each version of reality, you mostly perceive only one. Right now, you're probably aware of only one version of you. As you make a new decision, you step into a new version, and a matching version of everything and everyone wraps itself around you. What that looks like is our classic definition of the law of attraction. You attract into your experience, unique to you, moment by moment, that which matches the sum of your chosen beliefs and expectations.
You can get invites to our open calls, which we offer periodically, and our powerful free letting go process by going to the loaclub.com. So this hangout was the summary of our theme for the week, and we do 3 live calls a week with Q&A for our members on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You can become a member by going to the loaclub.com/join. So now our longer discussion continues with live Q&A on our member conference line. Back over